Please review the disclosures. Nothing written, expressed, or said here should be looked at as investment advice or an admonition to buy, sell, or trade any security or financial instrument. The Lund Loop is for informational purposes only. Hey everybody, welcome to the Daily Update for Monday, October 6th, 2025. Hey, if you're not yet in the, I forgot to say, happy Monday. If you're not yet in the Discord, get in there. We are segmenting different channels so that you can come in and very quickly get up to speed. You can look at the tickers that were mentioned. You can look at the YouTube videos that were posted, and you can look at the charts. Come on. Wait for it. Yeah, charts, right? Well, that's a chart of beer. But anyway, we're getting this in progress, but it's pretty easy to navigate. Getting easier all the time. If you're not a paid subscriber, join our community. We want you to be part of our community. We look for people that are just smart, engaging, want to learn, want to share. Doesn't matter if you're a trader, if you're an investor, if you swing trade, if you do crypto. We just want smart people with good, positive attitudes. You know, I've only had to kick one person out in the 3+ years. Has it been 3 years? I got to think how long it's been. Let's figure out how long it's been right now. Let's do this in real time. Welcome new members. This is level setting. When did I post this? Wow, that is crazy. Oh, as I drop my my pegboard here. 5 years. Over 5 years of the Lund Loop Discord. I would have thought it was 3, but apparently it's more. So in the 5 years that I've had the Lund Loop Discord, I've only had to kick out one person. And it's not because they were bearish. It's because they were just an a-hole. They were just getting to be abusive with people. So anyway, hey, so remember this last Monday? Let's not forget that the last time the government shut down the market. Hey, can you read, Brian? Let's try again. Let's not forget that the last time the government shut down, the market did just fine. See, that's why you need a comma there. Not the government shut down the market. The government shut down, comma, the market did just fine. Could be a non-event. And then later posted this, same day. 83% chance that the government shuts down, and the futures didn't seem to care. And then 87% they didn't care. That was, let's go for it. That was this day right here. And as people were freaking out, as they were going to cash, as they were telling us the sky was going to fall because the government was shut down, there'd be no labor statistics, blah, 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 dogs and cats living together in sin. People missed out this whole move right here. Now, to be fair, Friday was there was some selling there. And I said, hey, maybe take your foot off the gas a little bit. But today we just continue to go higher. The day started with the news at AMD, right? Up 53% at one point. I think OpenAI or Anthropic, I think it was OpenAI, is going to buy chips from AMD. That was a big catalyst. By the way, I want to note something here. Okay, so AMD, let's get rid of this bar here. Let's do this in real time again. Isn't it fun doing stuff in real time? All right, so this is what AMD looked like. Let's just blow the whole thing up. This is what AMD looked like on Friday at the close. So we had put AMD on the green list, I think here. It tried to go here, I kept it. It tried to go here, I kept it. It tried to go here again, and I said, I think we could still clear this area. So I actually started on the green list here, and I just held it over. So people were hopefully getting in it here. Then it popped up on this day, right? A nice, 3.4%. Then we had this bar. Now that's a pretty aggressive bar. So we went from the green list here to the orange list, which is the active list. And we had a big shakeout. Now, at the end of the day on Friday, I said, we're still on the active list. I know this is an ugly bar. It's, it's aggressive, but it closed above the 8 and above the breakout point, which is really right here. Okay. But I also said you probably wanted to take some profits on this move because it was an ugly move. So here's what I want to tell people. If this morning you came in and you didn't have AMD because you sold it here, don't beat yourself up, okay? That was the right move. You know, the best move was the wrong move. The best move would be to hold all of it and not even do anything with this, and then you got paid off here. But you do that move 9 times out of 10, and the stocks can continue to go like this, and you're going to get head handed to you. The second best move was to trim some so you could hang a little bit, and then you get in there. Of course, the worst move was to sell it, but it's the worst move in retrospect. We can't have outcome bias influence how we approach the market going forward, because you do something, something works out 8 or 9 times out of 10, but that one time you do it, the 10th time or the 9th time it works out for you, you're going to get wiped out the other 8 times. Okay. So this is a game of odds. This is a game of longevity. This is a game of making the right decision over time. The right decision was to trim or to sell there. And just because this happened, next time you get in a situation like this, don't go, well, I remember AMD gapped up 53%, because that will generally be the wrong move. All right. So let's take a look at today's action. So the other thing that happened was, because of the selling on Friday, when we had this move here and we started to kind of come in a bit, some people started freaking out online for sure. And let's just bring it back to that point right there. So we had the SPX kind of giving it up, certainly the Dow giving it up, IWM, but we had the Qs holding like a rock there. And at some point I said in the Discord, this is like about half an hour after the open, let's remember the pattern on Mondays and most days. We have to see what happens in the first 2 hours, basically 8:30 to 9-ish Pacific time. Right now, relative weakness in Dow Jones and IWM, Qs holding up the fort. And we've seen this pattern a lot, where we see some selling, especially on Mondays for the first 2.5 hours, then we firm up and we grind up the rest of the day. And that's exactly what happened. If we look at the SPX, so we came back down here, then this big igniting bar, which recaptures all the moving averages. Then we start seeing that spread. Then we have the 20, which provides support a number of times like we've seen in the past. So that's a trend up day, right? And then we kind of flatten out a little bit at the close. Same thing with the Qs, right? Except the Qs gap up and they hold and they come into the 20. So this one corrected over time. The SPX corrected over, I hate it when they don't line up, like price, right? So there's price correction here. That's time correction there. And it just waits for the 20 to catch up. There's support there. There's support there. Isn't it magical how the 20 works like that? And then just a little bit of sell off at the end of the day. And if we look at IWM, so IWM, same sort of thing, but a little bit choppier. And then finally, the Dow, right? Which really pretty much weaker for most of the day. So again, it looks like we've got SPX and the Qs in the driver's seat somewhat. So let's go through, let's go back over here. All right, let's go through all the indexes and then we'll check out the macros and all the changes on the watch lists.